Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We are talking about last night's Champions League action that saw plenty of goals, some stunning ones at that, and some big shocks as the Champions League group stage went into match day 2 of the new season, the new campaign. Before we go into talking about the games though, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get back to talking about last night's Champions League action, beginning with Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, who were victorious last night in Portugal. Yes, Liverpool enjoyed a very comfortable night in Porto as the Reds came out as 5-1 winners against the Portuguese side to make it 2 wins from 2 so far in the Champions League group stages. These two teams have become really familiar with each other in recent years in this competition, with the tie usually going in Liverpool's favour quite convincingly, and last night was no different. Mohamed Salah opened the scoring in the first half before Sadio Mane doubled the Reds' lead. Salah then scored his second of the night in the second half before Porto managed to get a goal back later on, but it proved to be nothing more than a consolation as substitute Roberto Firmino restored Liverpool's 3-goal cushion and then rounded off the performance later on in the game by adding a 5th to Liverpool's total for the night. A high intense quality performance from Liverpool, perfect so far in the Champions League, like I say, taking 6 points from their opening 2 games, 2 wins from 2, however you want to put it. It's perfect from Liverpool's point of view so far, and they are looking very much on course to qualify for the knockout stages in this group which of course also features both AC Milan and Atletico Madrid, was seen as a bit of a tough group for Liverpool to navigate their way through because they are such good teams. They are tricky teams, tough teams to face, but so far Liverpool have ticked a couple of boxes already so far. They've gone through to winning a couple of them tough games, and they've still got a few more to come. Of course, we are only a third of the way through, but so far so good as far as Liverpool are concerned. But there is no rest for the wicked, as Liverpool have to now quickly turn their attention to obviously Sunday's huge Premier League encounter with Manchester City. Speaking of City, they were also in action last night, and they didn't quite have the success that Liverpool enjoyed last night as they came out on the wrong end of a 2-0 scoreline to French side PSG. Former Everton midfielder Idrissa Gueye drew first blood for PSG before Lionel Messi in the second half finally, after several games of trying, scored his first goal for his new club. And by the way, what a goal it was too, to double the French side's lead and ultimately give them the much needed 3 points that they needed, especially after they drew their first game of the group stage to Club Brugge, also in their group. City had a number of attempts on goal throughout the entirety of the game, but were constantly denied by Gianluigi Donnarumma, who was in the PSG goal, who was like a brick wall all night. Although in saying that, Bernardo Silva really should have got a goal back for City, but he somehow managed to hit the crossbar standing a yard or 2 out from the goal line in the centre of the goal. A truly shocking miss. One to definitely watch if you haven't already. Simply put, a much needed win for PSG. They got the job done. Great to see Messi back on the score sheet in this competition. And of course, like I say, what a way of doing that. It's an absolute stunning goal that he scored. A great 1-2 with Mbappe, and then he just first time strikes straight into the corner. A fantastic goal to go and watch. City weren't exactly great here, but possibly take some comfort in the fact that they, when they are back in Champions League action next, they face back-to-back games against Club Brugge, the team that is supposedly the weakest in this group, a team that City should be beating anyway, but of course you can't take any game for granted, especially not in the Champions League. But Group A is certainly looking increasingly more interesting with each passing game that is played in these group stages. But for City, like I mentioned earlier, they have to now turn their attention and will be looking to get back to winning ways when they face Liverpool on Sunday. Elsewhere last night, a late fight back and a late penalty, an even later penalty should I say, converted by Luis Suarez gave Atletico Madrid the 3 points against AC Milan. These are, like I said earlier, the other two teams that are in Liverpool's group, and the Reds will be facing Atletico next in back-to-back games in the group stages in what should be a couple of intriguing games ahead. Club Brugge stunned RB Leipzig as the German club were beaten 2-1 in that game. They are, of course, both the other two teams in City's group, and like I mentioned earlier, Group A is certainly looking more and more interesting with each passing game. Ajax beat Besiktas 2-0, whilst Dortmund beat Sporting Lisbon 1-0. Both sides make it 2 wins from 2 in the group stages there. And despite playing each other next in back-to-back games, they are both looking on course to advance to the knockout stages. Shakhtar Donetsk and Inter played out a goalless stalemate in Ukraine. And finally, in the shock of the night, and in arguably the biggest shock in Champions League history, it definitely is up there as to being one of them. It arguably and could potentially be the biggest shock in Champions League history. Real Madrid were beaten 2-1 by Champions League debutant Sheriff at the Bernabeu. It was a match in which Madrid had 31 shots to Sheriff's 4, but it was the underdogs that managed to prevail, bringing back vibes of, do you remember 9 years ago when Celtic beat Barcelona 2-1, when they only had 5 shots on target and Barcelona had 23? The Spanish side absolutely dominated that, just like the Spanish side last night dominated that game as well. But on both occasions, it was the underdogs who prevailed. Celtic 9 years ago. Last night, it was the turn of Sheriff. Sheriff pulled off an absolute incredible victory. They took their chances. They produced one hell of a story and produced one hell of a special night and a special moment for their fans, players, and everybody associated with that club to remember for a very, very long time, I'm sure. A very well played Sheriff, and even more surprisingly, with all due respect, it is surprisingly this, Sheriff are top of their group with 2 wins out of 2, 6 points out of 6. They're a third of the way through the group stages and they are top of the league. Fair play to the Moldovan side. But as I always say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of last night's Champions League action? What did you make of Liverpool's convincing victory over Porto? What do you make of PSG beating Manchester City 2-0 in that oil money rich derby, or however you want to put it? What do you make of Lionel Messi's goal, by the way? That was the obviously highlight in that game. What do you make of the other Champions League games that played last night? Late drama with Atletico Madrid beating AC Milan, Club Brugge some upsetting RB Leipzig, Dortmund and Ajax seemingly plain sailing through their group, it seems. Shakhtar Donetsk and Inter drawing, and finally the big shock of the night, probably shock of the entirety of Champions League football's history, Sheriff beating Real Madrid. I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section, because I'm sure it'll all make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the right if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch, this has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will see and speak to you all again soon in another video.